Welcome to Free Advice About Life with Silver Rain Runningcloud, the story of Silver Rain. Okay. I was trying to set up over there, but it didn't work out very well yet because I have to download Chrome. But one thing I learned in graduate school that was kind of a surprise to me because it seemed like something that you should already know is that audience is everything when you're preparing a conversation. When you're preparing to talk to somebody, awareness of your audience is very, very important. So, in preparing this conversation for you, I've had a couple of issues to deal with about audience. Okay? Because I'm so confused. Aren't you confused? I mean, where are we going? We just don't know. I don't even rely much on the Bible because when I try to read the Bible, a lot of it to me personally was nonsense. I would open a page and there would be these long genealogies like anybody really cared. And then if you look into some of the books, it would talk about God doing all these horrible things to human beings. And I would feel like, wait a minute, I was taught as a child that God is love. I wouldn't treat anyone I love like this. So the Bible was very confusing to me. And a lot of the parables didn't make sense and the morality didn't make sense. And I'm a literature. I've studied literature all my life. You know, I'm a poet, a writer, a literary scholar that's taught PhDs in literature, leading the Ivy League. This is who I am. But the Bible was never a book I could really read until I did my Yale thesis on Leon Forrest's work, the Bloodworth orphans in particular. And when I did that work, I had to read part of the Bible because he had so many biblical references. So I was able to get through the first book. What's that first book called? Genesis. Yes. I was able to get through the first book, known as Genesis. And I was totally surprised at what I discovered in the book of Genesis because it did not relate to anything that I had learned about the Bible during my life. The book of Genesis actually described a man named Esau. And I thought Esau was a really wonderful fellow. He took care of his father and his family. He farmed. He just seemed like a really cool guy to me. But his brother Jacob, I think that was his brother's name. Well, he was a crook. His brother went to, let me see if this computer is working now. His brother went to work in another country. Okay, I might be able to use that. I might be able to use that computer in a minute. His brother went to another country, another land to work, where he cheated his boss. He cheated his boss, okay? He cheated his boss, ironically enough, using mathematics. Okay? So he cheated his boss using mathematics and his knowledge of genealogy, of DNA. And he said to his boss, listen, I'll stay here and be your shepherd while my brother's taking care of my family because I'm the second son, so I don't get to be the heir. And I'll stay here and I'll take care of your sheep. But here's my deal. Every dark sheep is mine. Every white sheep is yours. Well, anybody who knows anything about genetics knows that black is dominant. It's a dominant gene. And white is a recessive gene. That means you got to have two whites to make one white. Because if you have a white and a black, you get a black. If you have a black and a black, you get a black, right? So white and black equals black. White and white equals white. Black and black equals black. So you're going to have 2/3, if they're mating, you're going to have 2/3 more black sheep than white sheep. And that's what Jacob did. He not only did that, but he married 2 of the guy's daughters. Now, to me, that means that he compromised them, that he seduced them, that he got them sexually involved with him, where they actually had to marry him. But how would you like to be married to your brother-in-law? Okay? You getting the feeling? So Jacob's a liar and a cheat, but the whole rest of the Bible is based on his genealogy, on his family. So it's a story of people that to me are immoral people. So it's really funny when I read that, and I went to graduate school, in my middle 30s, stayed there till my late 40s. So I wasn't young when I'm reading this, but I said, well, no wonder I couldn't read the Bible. It isn't anything what the people have been told about it. And all the people reading the Bible, they don't understand what they're reading. Obviously, they don't. They obviously glean what they can glean from it. So I don't even read the Bible, but I have heard enough about the Bible to know that everything happening right now was foretold in the book of Revelations. Everything foretold in the book of Revelations. It's all really happening. Now that blows my mind because it's really happening. Here I'm looking at the Bible as this ancient kind of irrelevant piece of literature written by one group of people. Constantinople in Turkey promoted it. The Guggenheim Press made it even more popular. People used missionary and biblical ideals to seduce people in other lands so that they could come in and rob and kill them. If you want to see the story of that, Robert De Niro and the Missionary is one of the movies that'll just break you down to tears when you see how they used religion and God to make all of us people believe in them, when really they were a bunch of Jacobs. They were Jacobs. Oh, look, does that look better? Okay. Maybe it's supposed to be like this. Okay. So they're a bunch of Jacobs, right? They're a bunch of bad people, but we're reading the Bible and we're believing they're good, and we're accompanying our reading of the Bible with this entire ideology that God loves us, God is good, blah, 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 blah. Then Jesus comes into the Bible and it begins to get more in line with our ideas of an ideal religion, of a morality that we don't mind falling in line with. So I'm looking at this life we're living, and I'm seeing things that I just don't understand. I don't understand why the American media keeps talking about Europe when American people of all races are suffering so much. I don't understand why our money is being used for other countries. I don't understand why I can't get ownership of my land, of my inherited lands. I don't understand how these conspiracies are working. I don't understand the power behind them. There's just so much I don't understand. And most of it is so evil and so immoral and so wrong and so anti-human that I don't see how we're going to survive this system. And they're so much more powerful than we are. Okay? So much more powerful than we are. They're powerful enough to deploy weapons in my own teeth. My teeth hurt every single day. Every day my teeth hurt because there are living organisms in my gums, in my teeth, connected to my ears, connected to my crown chakra, connected to my legs. And I've been removing these organisms since they first came. Now, Marcus Smith was the person that infected me both times. I don't know the name of the woman that actually shot me in the face to give me the booster shot that provoked even more. But today, Marcus's dogs were barking quite a lot, like quite a lot. And usually when his dogs are barking that much, I'm going to have a really, really rough night. They're going to be deploying a new kind of weapon or a new kind of attack on me. There'll be something very disturbing going on for me. So it was my teeth. My gums are hurting. There are creatures in my teeth. Now, this is bioweaponry, okay? I'm so preoccupied every day with trying to remove the organisms that I can reach from my body that I hardly get anything else done. I have to spend hours breaking the connections and pulling clots out of my mouth. Clots out of my mouth, okay? Now, being scientifically minded and medically minded, I do have plenty of samples, just like I do of the Morgellons fibers, that keep appearing. Where do they come from? Where do they come from? My door is pretty much sealed. My air conditioner is blocked. I know that they were sending fibers in through the plumbing in the bathroom, but I have kind of under control to some extent. I'll still come out of the bathroom and have to pull fibrous hairs off my face because of what the enemy has done. And the enemy is working interdimensionally, which we do not even recognize interdimensionality in our society. If you say interdimensional, you're in la la land. You're not even talking to the populace, because they've made the things that are happening to us things we can't understand, because they are not only excluded from our public talk, but they are ridiculed. If you talk about these things, people will laugh at you, right? You'll be laughed at. But these are the things that are happening to me. Infections in my teeth, okay? Organisms in my teeth. I have to dig them out of my teeth. And they come out blood clots. They come out uniform blood clots. But some of them I can't even get because they're in the plasma. Now, maybe you've listened to Lex Friedman. He likes to interview Nazi scientists that do advanced scientific research. And he talks about plasma. And I'm pretty sure that plasma is the medium that they've put in our bodies. Now, I already told you that when I was infected with Morgellons, it was one of the steps in what was going to ultimately become of me, right? That the Nazis and the other enemies of humanity knew before I was born what they were going to do to me, how they were going to rob me of my inheritances and make it impossible for me to do what I need to get done, which is tell you. Okay? So now audience is where I started this talk, and audience is everything. And when I was thinking, well, who the heck is my audience? I was kind of stumped. I was kind of stumped about who my audience is, because my audience is the advanced extraterrestrials that are here fighting this war, right? We're so helpless. We do what we can, but we're pretty helpless when our enemies are as advanced as they are. And they look just like us. They are just us. You know, those SS guards, they never thought that they'd be held to accountability. They never thought, when they were abusing the concentration camp residents, they never thought it would come back to them. But it does, doesn't it? So one thing I believe is that if this life goes on, if it does, though, I believe that these people out here that have made me a prisoner of war and tested bioweapons on me, weapons in my ears, weapons in my mouth, weapons in my belly, weapons throughout my circulatory system, shooting me with weapons, shooting me with weapons. I believe that they're going to be held to account. I believe that they're going to face the same consequences that those SS guards did. So today, when Marcus was making his dogs bark extra long, which usually means that I'm going to be subjected to a new level of pain, a new level of weaponry, either through the plumbing or through the air or through the food that was delivered to me or through the machines they built behind the wall that generate a hum. They built machines behind the wall in the bathroom, and they go, So just like frequencies can heal you, frequencies can hurt you too. So I don't know what they have planned, but I do know that it will catch up with them. I do know that one day Marcus Smith and his wife Kedra Smith and Sergeant Donna Marie Joubert and the Pettis family and all the ones whose names I do not know, I know that they will be held to account, either in the court of God or in the court of man, or both. Okay? So audience really matters. Audience really, really matters. If I thought that there was nothing out there but enemies, there would be no point in me even talking. Okay? But it just so happens that after my last report, I experienced a great deal of relief. And the scars didn't hurt as much. And the drooping didn't hurt as much, which made me think that I reached an audience with enough power to help me. That's what it made me think. It made me think, yes, I'm reaching my audience, and they are the powerful ones. They are the ones. Okay, now for me, my people are divinity. Okay, we are from the divine bloodlines, divine. And I know this because my life has one purpose. And my life has had one purpose my entire lifetime. You know how people say, well, ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Use the law of attraction. Ask for what you want. God will give you what you want. The only thing I ever asked for from God was to help me serve God better. I'm here alive in this human body for one reason and one reason alone, and that's to serve God. That's my entire raison d'être. That's my entire reason for being. Now, I used to feel kind of funny. When I was in college, my roommate said, I've never met anyone as selfless as you are. And I thought, wow, golly, I never really thought of myself like that. What does it mean? I need to have a self. But myself is divine. Myself is working for God in a human body. That's the only reason I exist. It's the only reason I came back from death. It's the only reason that I'm here right now, is because I'm here to serve God. And if there's a fight between good and evil, and God needs human beings, well, that's why I'm here. And are they kicking my butt? Are they hurting me? Every single day. Every day they're hurting me, but I know my side wins because God is the most powerful. God is the creator. Nothing exists outside of God. So even the atheists, even if you're an atheist or an agnostic, it doesn't really matter, because as long as there are people who are devoted to God, all their energy belongs to God, God exists. As surely as I do. Because the only reason I'm here is because of God. I'm here for God. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about, well, I've got to get on and talk about this dental problem, but what am I going to say? What am I going to say? I'm going to say that I have to use pins, surgical instruments to coax these creatures out of my teeth, that they are learning to build structures that are made of bone, so they're using calcium, that they feed off the food I eat and store it in my teeth, that my teeth have become mazes, that I don't have any nerves in my teeth, that it's advancing into my teeth, and I'm kind of afraid, except for this. I'd be totally terrified and beside myself if it weren't for this. We're already in Revelations, people. Even the little bit of the Bible I know and the hearsay I've heard, every condition is being met. Now, if all those conditions are being met, then the rapture is real too. The rapture will be met too. And just because it hasn't happened yet, and it sounds so unbelievable, well, hell, bioweapons attacking your teeth is pretty damned unbelievable. And knowing that a dentist named Edmund Eves, DDS, and Richard Feinberg, DDS, of Penn Yan, New York, for Edmund Eves, now in Florida, and for Mesa, California, right outside of San Diego, for Richard Feinberg. These two dentists knew that they were infecting me when they put their appliances in my mouth. They knew that they put a time clock on my life. They knew they did. And they knew that I would either be feeding money to the dental implant industry, which would give them a chance to put those metal things in my teeth, which would make me even more vulnerable to control and attack by other entities, by higher entities that can come in through your crown chakra. I disrupt a colony in my mouth and I feel it tingling in my head because it's interdimensional. I'll feel it right here, like a little hair, just right here, exactly right here when I upset them. I upset them on this side, they'll bumble in my ears, right? But I've been able to disable so many of the entities, but they're so much more powerful. And I have to keep telling myself they are finite, because it takes a lot of courage to use instruments, surgical instruments on yourself. Inside my ear, there's no eardrum. I can stick a pin in my ear and it won't hurt me because something else has taken over the canals of my ears. Something else. And it blocks my third eye. It blocks my pineal gland. It makes it very hard for me to communicate outside myself and to get outside my body and the pain I'm in, and trying to eradicate the pain and trying to remove the organisms and trying to continue to be able to eat. You see? I mean, these shadows in my face, those are the other beings. Those are the other beings in my face. Those are the other beings in my arms, making my blood burn hot. And I've done a lot to fight them, and I've been pretty successful, but I can't fight them. I can't fight them, right, every day. Oh, these fibers. So my audience, okay, this is Revelations. Even if you never read the Bible, you know that this is the end. This is Revelations. We're seeing flooding in the desert. We're seeing evil among human beings. We're seeing all the things. I can't go through the list. I don't know the list, right? We're even seeing people trying to sacrifice a golden calf that they're calling a red heifer. Do you know that it is genetically impossible for there to be a perfect cow? Mutations happen constantly. It's a part of reality. So the entire red heifer thing is built on an idolatry. And they're acting like they don't understand it, like they're not really being deliberate about it. But if you remember what little I've read, Moses came down, got really mad at them, and there was an exodus. Well, here we come back around. There's going to be an exodus. So who's my audience? My audience is the people that are going to be raptured and the higher beings that are taking us out of here. Okay? If everything else is happening just according to the prophecies of the Bible, then we have to believe that the rapture is also real, and that 144,000 of us will be leaving here. And what happens after this? Will this world continue to go on the way it is with all the evil in it? I seriously doubt it. Through these decades that I've been getting prophecies delivered to my mentality from the words of God, spoken to me, given to me, and communicated by the beings around me, what I've heard is that this is over. This is finished. This is complete. That all of the beings here are the ultimate forms of evil, and they are not welcome in life again. Nobody wants to go forward in life with these people. And left to themselves, they'll kill each other off anyway. When you've got evil this thick, it's not going to stop. It's not going to say, oh, you're an enemy, you're a friend. Everybody's an enemy to evil this thick. So my audience is those of us that are leaving here. And my reason for reporting about my teeth instead of just sleeping in a depression is because we need the cure. Okay? The individuals that knew this end was coming wanted to stow away in the bodies of the chosen ones. They want to get out of here. Okay? So they made ways to build avenues in our bodies, right? The Morgellons was an attempt to overtake our biology. The ear bug that Marcus deployed on me. The things in my teeth. The environment in my teeth was already set up by Edmund Eves, DDS, and accentuated by Richard Feinberg. It was already there. All they had to do was activate the technology because the pathways were already created. Now, let's say that you know you're going to be raptured. But more importantly, let's say you didn't know. But let's say your enemies that managed to take over the medical and the dental and the psychiatric, all the industries, the centralized food, highway system, everything that controls where you can move and your level of biological freedom. They took control of all of that in the blood libel system, every bit of it. And they were already able to install the infrastructure that they knew they would occupy when the end days came. Do you remember that royal Brit that said he hates mankind so much he wants to come back a virus? He wasn't making a joke. They want to leave this planet infecting us. Okay? Now our saviors, the good ETs, the good ETs that are here fighting to liberate us, that have the level of power to really attack our enemies who the Nazis, the Germans, the Jews that have been working for years with the bad ETs, making contracts, written contracts with them to sell us and to sell the chosen ones right here. Well, all of them are being defeated, and there will be a rapture. But we don't want to be raptured with infections. And how would people from other planets know what belongs to us and what doesn't? What's supposed to be here and what isn't supposed to be here? They don't really know, but they know when you tell them, right? When you give them the medical research that you have done, because you know your body, you know your biology, and you know, oh, this isn't a part of me. Oh, this isn't a part of me. Oh, this is not a part of me. Oh, this, not a part of me. Okay? This extra heartbeat, 2 heartbeats, not a part of me, this one. So that their scientists can purify us, remove the foreign entities that are trying to get off this planet. They're trying to be raptured in our bodies. Okay? Now, I know everybody saw how thin I was during my last broadcast. Well, I ate some food that looked funny, and the next thing I knew, I looked pregnant again. Okay? I look pregnant again. So I don't know what that's about. And look at this. See how sick I look? So I know that I am deeply infected. But I don't know if this is the seed bank for the future of humanity. And it's interdimensional too. So sometimes my children are here with me. Sometimes they're someplace else. But how can I know? How can I know for sure that this is not just another infection that's trying to escape with me? I know how I feel about it. But I also know they have access to mind control. I foiled a lot of it, but who knows? Okay, so that's the end of this particular broadcast. I might get on the other machine, who knows? But I just want to say that my audience is the 144,000 that are to be raptured out of here. If everything else in the Bible is unbelievable as it is manifesting in reality, we can have extra faith that what we have been expecting through all these years that we have been enduring the presence of the most unspeakable evil in existence, that we're going to be getting out of here, and that our bodies will be clean. We will not be taking our enemies out of here with us.